Spanglish World Network and Single TV Channel 250. It's a great morning. I want to remind you to please go to the respective app stores of iOS and Android and download the Single TV application. Remember, the application is completely free, so there is no reason why not to download it as well. Remember that after you have a chance to view it and enjoy some of the programming, please go back to the store and give us a rating and a comment. We always like to hear from our audience in regards to how the application is working, as well as what shows you like or what shows you are looking for. We will try to bring you that programming here at the Spanglish World Network and Spanglish Sports World. Uh, Also want to remind you that Single TV can be found as well through Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, and all smart TVs 2016 and forward. Well, uh, all day of sports, there's a lot of news to go through. There's a lot of commentaries that I have in regards to the stories that have come out of multiple sports. So let's start ahead, and we are going to Major League Baseball, and we'll start with the home team here in Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays. And well, ladies and gentlemen, we are exactly 1 year from when the Toronto Blue Jays got the call about COVID. Coincidentally, today, the Toronto Blue Jays are playing against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the team uh, that, that they left the park exactly a year ago when the pandemic started. So here is the situation. Uh, and a story by Shai Davidi today on Sportsnet came out. The story is titled Blue Jays Still Adapting 1 year after MLB's COVID-19 shutdown. Well, yes, I understand that there is an adaptation period, but we are 1 year past that adaptation period. The Toronto Blue Jays have had cases, and they are actually shut down in Florida because of this uh, COVID protocols. Uh, as of late, we have a couple of players out with COVID symptoms. This shouldn't be happening when if, if the team puts strenuous rules as to how they have to follow. Uh, so let's look at what uh, has been happening. So we have there's a 108-page operational manual that Major League has presented every single team and every single player with. The Players Association has read it, they have ratified it, and here is the point. Uh, President Joe Biden says that he he will have all adults uh, vaccinations available by May, and July 4th, and by July 4th, a return to normalcy. Well, you can whip that out the window because Joey Bodo revealed this week that he had contracted already the the new version of COVID. Remember, we are talking about the idea that there are more than 20 to 35 different versions of the COVID-19 virus. pandemic. Um, and not every vaccine covers them. Right now, they are going through Johnson and Johnson's, through Moderna, through AstraZeneca. Um, and all of those vaccines are great, but we cannot let it just uh, roll out. I mean, it's crazy. You cannot allow players to do things at their own discretion. This is a disease that affects everybody. This is a disease that can hit everybody without fear. It doesn't discriminate. So now, here is the story. The Blue Jays, for the meantime, are in their ballpark in their facility in Florida. Nobody knows if they are. We know that definitely they will not be playing at the AAA facility of the Buffalo Bisons because the Buffalo Bisons are going to be playing there. AAA is playing baseball this season. So what happens now to uh, the Toronto Blue Jays? So they have to find a facility. Most likely, Florida will be that facility where they will play. But and many of the players have talked about this. In the case of Joe Panic, one of the new acquisitions for the Toronto Blue Jays, he said, "Look, for me and my wife, this is this year is like if we play Dunedin, we play Dunedin. If we play in Buffalo, we play in Buffalo. If it's Toronto, it's fantastic. But basically, we will be there with my teammates and my team wherever they go. He has no problems with that. Now, there are players that are more concerned. Remember, some of these players have to have have kids, have large families that normally move for the summer to where their player is. Uh, the Blue Jays don't know what that's going to be. We know definitely that in Toronto it's not going to be. It has been advised that has been advised by the government of Ontario and the government of Canada. They will not allow um, um, they will not allow that to happen. The latest report that came out of Major League Baseball so far is they have conducted 49,281 tests, returned 27 positives, including 21 players and 6 staff members across the 17 clubs. Uh, Boros, Boros positive test this week was included in that number. Uh, and one other thing is interesting is that having visual made a comment on this, and he said, "Look, regardless of the situation, we know we have to be careful with coronavirus. We've seen it in the NBA and the NFL, especially with contact tracing and really important players not being able to play in the games. We understand it's something we have to continue living with, and the biggest thing is staying on the field." Now, I am uh, a- I'm an avid baseball fan. I play the game. I understand where it's coming from. Okay, but protecting your players, protecting your family, because baseball is a family of a nucleus family amongst all the players. Uh, the commissioner should have spoken with the should have spoken with ownership and say, look, guys, let's this cannot go on. We have to make this place safe for our fans, make this place safe for our players and the employees of the league. Let's delay the season as far as we can go, even if we have to scrap 2021 and start in 2022. Now, what happens from now if there is bigger spurs of COVID that hit the players? Right now we have 21. We haven't even started the season. Competition hasn't started in Seoul. They are maintaining certain levels of protocol when they do practices or when they do certain things. But what happens once the season starts and this thing starts spreading crazily? Uh, isn't it better to shut it down now until everyone is vaccinated and then start? I know it's a shortened season. I know it cuts into the financials of the teams, but it's a smarter decision. If everyone gets vaccinated, maybe the Blue Jays can play in Toronto as well because they are vaccinated now. Uh, they don't have to look for a stadium outside. Well, this is something that we have to look at. Well, let's keep going with some of the stories also from the Toronto Blue Jays, aside from this one. And here is another story coming out. It's in regard to one of the prospects for the Toronto Blue Jays, Orbelis Martinez, 19-year-old shortstop born in the Dominican Republic, was drafted by Toronto Blue Jays during the international signing of 2018. Hitting coach Hunter Mency explained that as a foreign player, Martinez underwent an adaptation process to make him feel comfortable enough to exploit his abilities. When Spanish-speaking players first sign, they go what is called tricky league, said the coach. A 6-week introduction for the underage signees in the Dominican Republic, which is an official league used to get acquainted to the organization. Nancy also explained our belly skills allowed him to take a different path than usual. He didn't start in the Dominican Summer League like most of the kids do in their first year with the organization. He came to play in the United States in the Gulf Coast League. It's really a challenging thing, especially for young Dominican kids, just because they are coming to where the language and everything is completely new for them. Though these processes take time, the quality of the staff working with young Dominican with the young Dominican at the club, he helped start showing his capabilities. Back in 2018, the Jays spent 3.5 million to sign the infielder. By 2019, during his first official season, he had played 37 games, starting 26 at shortstop, 11 at third base, with a total of 57 putouts and 61 assists. Martinez also had a 2.75 average, a 352% slugging percentage, and a 549 slugging, including 7 home runs, 20 runs scored, and 32 RBIs in 163 appearances at the plate. His performance convinced the coaching staff for the training sessions at Rochester last October, and once again, the 2021 spring training, where Orbelis is showing why he is ranked 7 on the Blue Jays 2020 prospects ranking. So here's a young kid from the Dominican Republic making a splash in the organization. We'll see where he's expected to reach the major league level in 2023. looks like a bright future for Toronto with the likes of Kevin Biggio, the likes of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What an addition he could be to this ball club. Uh, another another kid making a splash this time is Josh Palacios. Uh, Played in Rochester last year. Uh, he he had he in 8 games with the Blue Jays in spring training this season so far. He's batting 375 average with an OPS of 1.224, along with 6 ribbies. That's an amazing feat for a young man in baseball. He is going to be uh, fighting for a position in a very deep outfield of the Blue Jays with George Springer, Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel, and Randall Grichuk. But I think that he's going to start most likely at Buffalo, and as time progresses, he will make his way up to the majors sometime I would say by June, July. Okay, here comes another prospect that is making a splash in Rochester, and that's Jordan Grosjean. Jordan played single A, climbed the single A 2 years ago, made a splash in single A, batting 337 as logging on base percentage of 427 and a slugging percentage of 482 in 23 games. He is now has moved up to Rochester, but I expect him to be uh, at AAA this season. He's a phenomenal prospect for the Blue Jays. He has a lot to offer. Now, whether he will remain with the organization, that's a different story. Remember that there is a lot of competition, and you have Biggio, and uh, Biggio, and as well Vladimir Guerrero there that are going to make his, his movement up a little bit longer to register. Now, the one prospect that is truly making a splash, his name is Steven Machado. Not He's not making it so much with his glove as he's making it with his bat. The 18-year-old is just one of two switchers amongst the Blue Jays' top 30 prospects, and all and one only overall capable of hitting left-handed left-handed hitting. Machado has made a great success so far. He's a 5'10", 170-pound young man. Uh, he he made a splash in 2019, being amongst the 135 qualifiers for the batting title in the minor leagues. So it's something that the Blue Jays are looking for. They need a switch hitter somewhere along the lineup so that they don't have to use they don't have to switch into many positions. So it's a great opportunity for the Blue Jays with this young man to progress. So now we are going to sync our efforts in looking at the pitching of the Toronto Blue Jays. Thomas Hatch has become a big part of that uh, talk these days. Uh, Hatch uh, threw, threw 25 pitches, although he threw more balls than strikes. Uh, Hatch, Hatch did a very good job against the Pirates in a 2-1 loss. And both of the runs were unearned based a throwing error by catcher Danny Jansen to second base, trying to catch somebody off balance. But uh, as far as Jansen is concerned, he said that Hatch has an incredible speed on his fastball. He's fluent with his curve. And he has an average. His changeup also is very aggressive. So although is new to the team, I think he's making good strides in this with the team. He's going to be interested to see what happens here. So now we come to one of the news making splashes across Major League Baseball. This is the announcement made by Nick Markakis, uh, the All-Star outfielder who won three Gold Gloves and collected more than 2,380 hits for the Orioles and the Braves. He announced his retirement after 15 years in Major League Baseball. Uh, Markakis said, "I just think it's my time. My number one decision and my main focus on this is obviously my kids and my family. I have been fortunate enough to do this for a very long time, and not many people get to do what I have gone through. I am thankful for every second and every minute." So let's look at the consistency of Markakis. He hit in his career uh, a fabulous 288 average, had a on base percentage of 0.357, a slugging of 423 with 1,119 runs scored. He hit 514 doubles, 189 home runs, all that in 2,154 games from 2006 to 2020. He appeared in 2,074 games in right field, the eighth most in MLB history. Marquez is 37, played the 20 the 20, the 2020 postseason for Atlanta. He earned his lone All-Star nod, and as his final Gold Glove and Silver Glove awards for the Braves in 2018. Uh, the Orioles organization uh, tweeted out to him and said, "Thank you for the memories, the hustle, your countless contributions to this organization. Best of luck in your next chapter, Nick." The Braves tweeted out, "We wish all the best. We wish you all the best in your retirement, Nick." So he was seven. He was the Orioles' first round draft pick, seventh overall out of the Young Harris College in 2003. Marquez emerged as a steady, productive presence for nearly a decade in Baltimore, hitting an average of 290, uh, on base percentage of 358, and a 435 slugging percentage in 9 seasons with Baltimore. He played at least 155 games in 7 of those campaigns, posting at least a 290 average and an on base percentage of 350 in 6 of them. Marquez won Gold Glove Awards in 2011 and 2014, and he helped the Orioles snap their 17-year playoff drought in 2012. He did not play that October, however, due to a broken hand. Marquez did make an Olympic appearance with the Greek team alongside Clay Bellinger, father of Cody, and John Morosi. So it's a this is a, a great loss for the game of baseball. We wish Nick and his family the best of success. I had the opportunity to interview him over multiple times during his career, both with Baltimore and with Atlanta. And I know that whatever Nick decides to do after this wonderful career he had, it's going to be it's going to be great. From the other end, I also want to let tell you that if I can direct my Major League Baseball to the commissioner's office, now that Nick Markakis has retired, my my personal opinion is that he would be an excellent ambassador for the game, especially in dealing with baseball in Greece, dealing with the youth. He has always put his number one role outside of the field, working with the youth in both Baltimore and Atlanta. It would be a great success story, especially right now. So one of the other things that is happening across Major League Baseball and now in going down to the minor leagues, they are they are going to test a lot of new things now in in the minor leagues to see if they can bring those new rules and those new applications to the major league level. One of them being the robo umpiring. Uh, there is uh, a lot of problems with that, as I see. Uh, who are go- yes, there is going to be an umpire, but the match, the actual system can overrule what the umpire says. So here is let's look at what they are talking about in terms of different rules. Well, low A Southwest Southeast League will also see an automated balls and strike system, commonly known as robot umpire, and the low A West will see a 50-second pitch clocks down from 20 seconds versions use a triple A and double A. So we are trying to reduce the time of the game. This is what that means. Uh, like I said, road umpiring to me is if you are trying to eliminate the umpire's job, why why to ruin the game? Part of the entertainment or part of the game has always been having an umpire, having people that understand and will understand the game and have lived the game. Uh, we say that this is a business. Well, it's an entertainment business. Some of the great calls by umpires make the game better. Uh, I mean, Shula and a lot of the umpires that in Major League Baseball, it's entertaining to see their way to call the game. Uh, you know, yes, we create it create sometimes the the rivalry between umpires and coaches and managers can delay the game, but that's part of the game. Uh, so let's continue here on the story. It says, not to be overlooked, Double A will have new new a new feature of its own. In an attempt to limit the shifts that have become commonplace across baseball, Double A will be required to have four infielders in both of their with both of their feet on the infield dirt. No more sticking a second baseman in short right field against a pull hitter. There could also be a rule that would force two infielders on each side of second base, but a decision on that won't be made until the second half of the season of the 21 season. Uh, Here we go to another of the rules. AAA larger bases, 3 additional inches on either end might not seem like a lot, but for someone with plus speed like Vidal Virgin, it could just be enough of a difference to get even more aggressive on the base paths. And that hasn't been an issue in the past for in the MLB pipeline. Number 50 overall prospect. He stole 45 bags with in both the 2019 seasons, and his 103 total thefts were the top of all minor league over the span. Under the new rule, it isn't out it isn't out of the question that Virgin could aim for 60 or 70, even 70 steals in a full season with AAA Durham. Of course, if this is a if that is accomplished, the 23 will likely be pushing for a job in the majors well before he can reach that. So, you know, there is rules being changed. The pickoff limits, they are talking about pickoff limits. I don't understand the step off rule. So the step off rule is that in the minor leagues, they will not be able to step too far away from the base. Uh, you know, these are rules that don't make sense in baseball. Well, let's go to the next story in baseball. And this comes back to the probably one of the greatest hitters to last season, and this is Mr. Tatis Jr. So uh, Tatis had been silenced throughout since the beginning of the season this year, but he is no longer silenced. He took an offering in his last game and put it out of Tacom Stadium in Mesa, Arizona, against the A's. The ball traveled 530 feet its way out. Would this be the start of of a new a new era with Tatis? Well, it's amazing to see. Well, and now each how can I say each ball that he hits brings more. It's a new horizon because remember that he just signed a $340 million extension for on a 14-year contract with with the San Diego Padres. So they want to see a lot of those hits. Let's move on now, and we are going to go to the. As we said, they are trying to eliminate the shift in baseball, which will put a lot of players out of a job if that progresses. One of them being Gleyber Torres. Remember that Gleyber Torres, the Yankees' second baseman, uh, is not the most consistent defensive second baseman in the game. But what he does bring is a lot of hitting. He's a great hitter, and he's a great thinker of the game. Uh, he, he, his on base percentage is phenomenal, but and he had to go to big readjustments this offseason, lose a lot of weight in order to get ahead of the curve. Because if the shift is completely disassembled, he's going to probably be have limited time on the field of play. So most of the stories that are coming out, and I will let's start talking about the robo umps and see what the analysts are saying. Uh, so they asked several analysts, uh, experts, Bradford Doolittle, Jesse Rogers, and David Schofield, about the implications of certain rules. So the question was, which experimental rule are you most intrigued by? So Doolittle goes to say the infield positioning part is the one that I will be watching, because you will be able to see effect in change to balls in the play rates. Of course, in mind the average on balls in play has less has less been an issue than the quantity of balls in play. The success rate will have to really go up in order for incentives to realign in a way that encourages hitters to return to a higher balance and a higher contact approach. Jesse Schofield, Jesse Rogers, um, sorry, David Schofield said the following: "It's a cop out to say all of them. I agree with Brad that the infield position rule will be intriguing. In Double A, all four infielders will have to play on the dirt, although it doesn't expressly forbid shifting, say, three infielders to the right side of the infield or left-hander batters, well, at least until the second half of the season, when MLB enforces that two infielders must be on each side of second base. I think the most important rule is the pitch clock. We need to speed up the game. Got to watch a video of an old World Series game in the 1970s. The game moves along much better pace because the pitchers are generally working much faster. The minor leagues have already used a pitch clock, so this is doubling down on that rule and has already worked. So there's a lot of stuff going out in Major League Baseball. I particularly don't like the changing rules. Uh, Here they are talking about the electronic strike zone. It says, when will we see an electronic strike zone implemented in Major League Baseball? Uh, Doolittle says would not be surprised to see it back into the CBA introduced by next season. I guess if there are major problems with the 2021 minor leagues implementation, that might push things back. This is not going, but the rule is not going away. The change is not going away. Rogers said, "I think after seeing all the levels in the minors for a full season and working out the kinks, we'll get into a major spec half by 2023 or 24." Schofield, I would prefer to see a rule more like tennis. Maybe a team gets to 3 challenges per game on balls and strikes to overrule the obvious bad calls. I know that that's not going to happen. I think 2020 is a little optimistic, but we are still a few years away. Particularly, I don't like any of the rules. You ask me, but it's crazy. Um, so one of the major stories in Major League Baseball right now is Aroldis Chapman and Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz is an amazing prospect in Major League Baseball uh, that captivated everybody across last season uh, with almost 30 saves uh, in the 60 game season. Now, Aroldis Chapman is a proven resource. They are saying that Edwin Diaz has the capacity to beat Chapman. He has the capacity of challenging the record imposed by the Yankee closer of all time. So I don't know. It's to see and wait to see that he has the potential. Yeah, he has the potential. He, he shocked everybody, but I don't know what's going to happen. So let's continue here. I want to touch on a couple of stories right now from other sports. Let's go now to uh, what's happening in the game of basketball in the NBA, especially what's happening to the Toronto Raptors. And here we go back to the COVID. Here we go back to COVID again. It's absolutely incredible. Uh, and I, till this day, I am questioning why the NBA decided to play across the league, across the country. Why did they uh, not bubble up again something that worked and didn't produce a, too many cases of this coronavirus that is hitting the world crazily. Um, in the case of the Toronto Raptors, they have been out for the last uh, 3 games without their top their top 3 people, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Fred VanVleet, all who tested positive for COVID. Since they since then, the Raptors have fallen completely out of shape. Right now, they are considered. Imagine this: they are playing the Charlotte Hornets tonight, and they are considered the underdogs in a game against the Hornets. Um, so not just that they are without their top players, but they are without the staff, the coaching staff. Um, Only one coach is out, is able to handle it, as Sergio. Uh, um, he has been having trouble putting together a lineup that actually can match up to any team. Uh, and and I don't want to say that he is not, but it's a struggle. It has been a struggle for the Toronto Raptors this season, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, it has been a very, very hard struggle for the Toronto Raptors. They are not playing their players. They are not doing anything, uh, and there is no salvage to this season. I don't see it as a. They are right now. They are holding on to the eighth spot for the playoffs. Uh, I don't see it happening. It's sad. It's really sad. I don't know what's going to happen with this team. This team is really, really not producing what they are supposed to be. I also want to touch on uh, some of the stories that are some of the stories that are coming out of the conference, because it says the story is about the Raptors. It says in pre-pandemic times the Raptors would be on the outside of the players looking in. The season would be over and they'd be hoping for some good luck in the lottery. At 17 and 20, they have a 1.5% chance to land a number one pick in a loaded 2021 NBA draft class, and about a 7.2 chance of landing a top four pick in this year's draft. That's according to Tankathon. It also says this season, however, things are a little unusual. The league has implemented a play-in tournament in which each conference ninth and 10th seeds are still sort of alive for a playoff spot. Toronto, who sits in ninth in the Eastern Conference as of Friday, would play host to the 10th seeded Indiana Pacers in a do or die contest. If the Raptors were to knock out the Pacers, we're expecting to have Harris Lavert back on Saturday after successful cancer surgery. Toronto would take on the loser of the New York Knicks and Atlanta Hawks between the conference seventh and eighth seeds. Essentially, the Raptors would have two straight must-win games before advancing to the traditional playoffs, in this case to take on top seed Philadelphia 76ers. This is a foreign territory for the Raptors, not only because all of these rules and quirks, but because Toronto hasn't been lower than a four seed during its 7-year playoff streak. Nowadays, the Raptors aren't fighting for home court advantage in the playoffs. They are just fighting for a spot in the dance. We've got to make a push, Kyle Lowry said Thursday following the Raptors' heartbreaking 121-120 loss to the Atlanta Hawks. These are the games Toronto cannot afford to lose. Over the final 35 games of the season, including a special postponed game against the Chicago Bulls, the Raptors will play 13 games against teams right in the middle of the Eastern Conference. They'll meet the Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers three times, the Knicks and Washington Wizards each twice, and the Hawks, Pacers, and Charlotte all one more time. Those those start game starts immediately with the Toronto schedule to play the Hornets Bulls on Saturday and Sunday, potentially without Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and OG Anunoby, who remain in COVID-19 protocols. In the situation we are we are in now, I'm just hoping to one off, pick one of Sandy Nurse on Thursday. So this is not uh, a great thing. Uh, and just to point out, uh, our congratulations go out to Kyle Lowry on passing Chris Bosh for the all-time on the Raptors all-time scoring list. Kyle Lowry now sits fourth. Sorry, sits second, just behind DeRozan as the top scorer of the team. So we know Kyle Lowry is currently um, Kyle Lowry is uh, currently in the last year of his contract. Everyone is knows that Kyle Lowry is in the trading block. His name has been on the trading block for a long time with his team uh, because there is still some potential of what they can gain by trading him. But just yesterday, uh, Kyle Lowry said uh, that he will not accept any trade and that he wants to retire a Toronto Raptor. If he gets traded, he says that he wants to return to Toronto uh, on a 1 day contract so that he can do his retirement the proper way. I'm just going to touch one more story in the way out, uh, and this is in regards to Toronto FC, who have officially been awarded the rights to the Canadian Championship. Uh, they will go to represent Canada in the tournament of the CONCACAF League of Champions, and they will face they will they will be facing the Mexican Club Leon uh, in April. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that this show can be heard on the Spanglish radio network across all its social media partners as well. Remember that you can go to our website, SpanglishSportsWorld.com, for all the news. There we have stories by all of our great hosts of shows and columnists. You can learn about any sport in general. Remember as well that English Sports World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, or especially leave it, because Spanglish Sports World is sport, and sport is Spanglish Sports World. In the name of all the great, all my great staff here at Spanglish Sports World, it has been a pleasure to be with you today. We'll see you next week on Saturday for more coverage in English of the world of sport. Until then, please stay at home, please stay safe during these pandemic times of the COVID-19.